Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be checking out a really cool little device by a company called Nyrius Aries Prime. So this is a wireless HDMI transmitter. So what this is going to do is it's going to transmit from the source to any HDMI display wirelessly. It can work very well in a lot of applications. So let's take a closer look at this thing. So it comes in this box here, kind of tells us a little more about the product. Plug and play, zero latency, which is important for gaming, supports 3D, full HD 1080p. This is everything that's included inside. Alright, so let's open it up. So it looks like we have some documentation here, a little quick start guide on how to get started, a little card from the company. So here right on top we can see our components. So this looks like our receiver, and then this is the transmitter. Definitely like how small the transmitter is. Alright, let's see what else is in here. So it looks like we get some cabling, power adapter for the receiver, a 90-degree HDMI adapter, some mounting hardware, an HDMI cable, and it looks like a USB charging cable. Alright, that's everything for the box. So let's start with this receiver. So this is the back of it, and you can see that you can mount it to the wall. I guess you will have to take these little feet off though. So there's some plastic protection around it. Alright, so on the front of it, we have the branding here. We have a little sticker that says Full HD, power button, some kind of information button, and a couple LED indicators. So on the sides, we just have venting holes. The front here is clean, and if we go to the back, we can see that we have power input here, and then the HDMI output, and again branding right here. And here we have a little bit more information about this receiver. So let's check out the transmitter. Alright, so this is what the transmitter looks like, and it's quite nice. It's got the branding there engraved into it, and we have a little LED up here. This is where we're going to plug in our power. So this thing does need power, but that just simply will plug with this USB cable here. So this is our HDMI plug. A little more information. And if we go to the very end, we can see that there is a button here. And so we get two power cords. One of them is an adapter that outputs 5 volts, 2 amps. And that goes with the receiver. And then we have the USB that will power the transmitter. So yeah, you would simply plug this into any HDMI source, and then, you know, if it's like a laptop, then you would plug this into any of the USB ports. Or if you're going to do this before a video console, same way. Alright, so we got all the components we need. Let's go ahead and see how this thing works. Alright, so we're going to use this TV right here as our display, so we're going to connect the receiver to it. So all we need to do is grab the HDMI cable that goes to the TV and plug it into here. Just like that. And then we're going to take our wall adapted power and plug it in here also. So the cool part about this thing is when you don't use it, you can turn it off. Alright, so that's plugged in and ready to go. And so now we need a source for a wireless feed. And so just for demonstration purposes, we're going to use this Xbox here to wirelessly transmit. Alright, so you just plug this in like you would any normal cable into the output. And then since this thing needs power, we're just going to plug it into one of the USB sockets, and we can see that our light started blinking and turning on. So let's go ahead and hit the power on the receiver. Alright, so I think we're connected. Looks like it's saying that it knows that this thing's here. And look at that, looks like we're transmitting. So if I click on my remote info here, we can see we're transmitting 1080p. And so what's happening is the Xbox is putting out the signal to the transmitter, and the transmitter is wirelessly sending it to the receiver, and that's displaying here on this television. So you guys can imagine the possibilities with this thing. You can have the source in one corner of the room and then the display in another. Or let's say if you wanted to have televisions outside and you wanted to feed them with a signal from somewhere else, you could. I can totally see this being very useful in like a projector setup, because a lot of times with a projector it's far away from your console or your TV box or whatever it is, and this thing will wirelessly, you know, shoot it to the projector that's, let's say, on the ceiling. So yeah, very cool. And as you can see guys, the signal is very nice, being a full HD 1080p. And what makes this setup really cool is that the latency, or the time that it takes to respond from your source till you see it, is practically non-existent here. So right now we're using a remote which has extremely low delay, and so technically if we navigate, we should immediately see it happening with no delay. So I'm just gonna go back and forth. So I'm pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. So as you can see guys, I mean, it's immediate. There's no delay here whatsoever. And that's very important if you're going to use this for gaming or any kind of interaction between you and the display. Alright, so for the next part I want to do a range test, but what I did here was I plugged the transmitter into the wall outlet and then used the USB cable here to power the receiver from this battery bank here. And then we got an HDMI cable feeding this little monitor. And so the reason for all this is because you can really see that this is even backwards compatible, where you can have the receiving part of it being wireless and the transmitting being stationary, or you can have the other way around. Let's say you can plug the transmitter into a camera or something and then have the other end, you know, having the live view wirelessly. So another thing we can do with this is we can actually test the range, and I'd actually like to go even outdoors and see how far that reaches. Alright, so I grabbed the whole contraption and let's just walk around the house here. So we're about 15 feet away right now, still picking up no problem. So we're like probably about 20 feet to 25 feet right now away. Alright, let's take this thing outside where we can really go far. Sorry if there's a glare, guys. Okay, so I'm probably about 30 to 40 feet right now. Yeah, for sure, and I'm going through walls now. Okay, so we're starting to lose connection. Yeah, we're definitely going to be fighting with walls, and we're like 40 feet away. If we can get closer, it'll turn back on. Alright, and we got our feedback, and this is the window that I was showing you guys from the house. So let's go from there. So we're about 10 feet away right now. Probably about 25 or so. Alright, it's impossible to see here. So about 30 feet right now. Alright, and it just cut out, and we're pretty far away. So we're probably about 40 feet plus, maybe 50 feet from that room over there. Oh, it actually caught back on. So yeah, so in clear sight it definitely does a lot better. So I would say probably about 30 feet would be a reliable source, especially going through some walls. And if you got a clear sight like an open room, then maybe 40. So yeah guys, this thing is quite impressive to say the least. So you can definitely see how this could be very useful in certain applications where you need to transmit wirelessly. So I already have a few ideas of what I'm going to do with it, because if you think about it, let's say you're installing a TV on the wall, this makes it so much more easier if you didn't have to run the HDMI cable, and it gives it a more cleaner look. Or let's say you were going to install a TV on the ceiling for some reason. You could find power in the ceiling, but when it comes to getting the signal HDMI, you would have to run the wire. But this will eliminate that problem also. So it's pretty cool that you can transmit HDMI wirelessly. Alright guys, well I think that'll be it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you want to pick up the Nereus HDMI transmitter, I'm going to have some links in the description, so check that out. And if you enjoy videos like this and you're not subscribed, I do a lot of product reviews and other interesting things on this channel. So hit that subscribe button to see more. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.